Well, hello. Welcome to another video. Video that I haven't made one for a long time actually. Uh, Various reasons, one of which being issues with MSFS 2024, various updates, and then completely reformatting my computer. Anyway, I won't go into the details, but finally I've decided to make another video, and this one, if it works at the end of the day, and I upload, is going to be on the in development B17 from Microprose. So this is an aircraft which is under development, like I say. It's only been out for maybe a month or so, and it's just got the basic functionality in place now. And you can fly it, but it doesn't have a lot of the other associated systems working. A lot of buttons don't work, but the model's there. It's being updated by Microprose every couple of weeks. Like I say, they recently had a level of detail update amongst lots of other things in there, but so it's looking a bit better, particularly when you walk further away from it, a bit of distance. Yeah, here we go. This is it. The B17 from Microprose. They seem to be throwing a lot of effort at the B17 lately with this and other titles that are under development, as I gather. But here we are with the one that's in Microsoft Flight Sim 2024. So as you can see, it looks pretty nice. I think they've updated some of the graphics in the engine as part of the last update. Not 100% sure, but I think they have. Excuse me. It's a fair bit of humidity in the air here in Brisbane. We've had quite a lot of storms, so my my goggles are fogging up. Radio. So let's see if I can't figure out how to get into the aircraft. There we go. Shift and C does it. Now, one of the other things that I've done is there's a little bit of jittering, but that's because I've upped the graphics levels to quite high on account of signing up for the Sim Update 4 beta testing round. Simply because I'd seen on other YouTube videos that the performance was excellent and much improved over previous iterations of Microsoft Flight Sim 2024. So, which also allows easier recording in VR, which is one of the other reasons why I'm doing a video. So here we are inside the cockpit of the B17. We have this little check board that we can't really do a great deal with yet. We can't do ready for combat, but we can enable the crew visibility. So we can see our co-pilot. And I'm not going to go wandering through. Well, there's the top gunner. He's there as well. Don't know if you can see him. But there's a fair bit of detail that they've put into this, which is nice. The switches that you can activate are not a huge number, and they don't really come up with proper labels yet to tell you what they are. They're still blank as they're under development. But it has enough to fly. So let's just see. We are at Amberley Air Force Base. I thought I'd go from the Brisbane Air Force Base as an appropriate location. Now I should be able to double check. So right click. Oh, there we go. Yep. More info for Amberley Military. The recommended runway is runway 15. So 15 is up that way. So what we'll do is we'll start it up, taxi left, then left again, then to the end, and then we'll do a flight around Brisbane. So I'll just close that down. So, like I say, there's not that much that's actually functional. We'll switch the batteries on, generators on. Now, I don't know whether you're actually getting any sound from the from the game or just my voice. So this video may go nowhere. I don't know. I haven't used OBS for a while, like I say. Okay, so we've got the the propellers, the mixture, and the throttle. Now, whoops. Oh yeah, that's the other thing. When you right-click to zoom in, it doesn't zoom in on the panel. It zooms in on the front gunner or the front and the bombardier. Okay. So I'll switch all of those on. Switch the fuel pumps on. All the booster pumps. I believe these are the filters. Crack open the throttle a little bit. We'll undo the tail wheel now while I think of it. And we will start engine 3. Oh, okay, that's cool. That automatically brings that down. I forgot to do that. That's quite a nice touch, actually. All right, once that's started, then we'll do number 1. Okay, that brings that. That's cool. Okay, that's not me doing that. That's as soon as I kick on the starter, it brings the mixture lever down to full rich. Then we go number 4. So that's good. I guess it kind of half simulates the co-pilot actually doing something as opposed to just sitting there like a mannequin doing nothing. And final engine. Now, is sound coming through? I don't think so. Which is a shame because there should be. File, settings, audio. Alright, so sorry about that. Looks like you were just sitting there in silence while that whole thing started up, but I've just switched on the audio. Like I say, I haven't used OBS for a while, and I will not start this video again because this is just a bit of a test video just to load something up on YouTube and show the B17. So now we have the engines and sound. Sorry, oh jeez. Okay, so it looks like I've had I must have been pushing the engines too hard because I've still got the park brake. Okay, so just check the sound is still going. Yep, it is. It's okay on the screen. Okay. So sorry about the ham-fistedness of this video, but just want to get something out there and show the B17. Now, so Sim Update 4 is I'm running a 4080 Super, and I've got pretty much most of the graphics settings set to high, at least high, and I'm getting pretty good frames. The other thing is when I do move my head fairly quickly, I do get a little bit of jittery. I'm also on using Pimax Crystal Light, and I have rolled back to an earlier version of Pimax Play to 1.37 because, yeah, I don't know, I was getting some pretty poor performance with Pimax, and I'm not sure if the rolling back to 1.37 has made any difference, but it hasn't made it worse. That's the problem with VR, particularly a game like Microsoft Flight Simulators. We've got so much tinkering that it's ridiculous. Okay, let's go flaps. Let's go one notch of flaps. The engine sounds are pretty nice, like many other titles in Microsoft Flight Sim. They could always be louder, like great to have an option, or maybe there is, I don't know, but yeah, an option to just really crank up the engine sound. At the moment you can't open the windows, so maybe once the Microprose team update the next version or one of the subsequent versions, they'll be able to, so you can open the windows and get an extra engine noise. I mean, I can understand. No, I could have vented the runway from down here. I understand the wish to perhaps not make it too loud. That's the other thing in one of the more recent updates. The recent update for this is they've made it a bit easier, I think, to maneuver the aircraft on the road. Turned around. That's a big old girl. Right, so there we are. We've got flaps down. Notch 1. We're taking off runway 15. What's that? Now, one of the other things that they appear to have done in this sim update for the most recent iteration is they've added for Shift plus C exit aircraft pop-up in the middle of your view when the aircraft is stationary. As soon as it starts moving, that disappears. It's a bit annoying, but at least it disappears once you start the aircraft moving. Alright, now let's check various controls. These cubes. One of the things I didn't show is when the aircraft starts up, it doesn't belch out the smoke. So that's quite loud. So that's... Ooh. Yeah, she just took off by herself today. Okay. Positive rate. That's up. Yeah. That's a speed, 100. She just took off without me even trying. My goodness. Okay, now we can probably bring the RPM down. Back up a little. There's a bit of a delay there. Now let's try and get some altitude. Up to the south, didn't we? So in terms of switches, yeah, not much is working at the moment. Like I say, you've got fuel. What's that? I don't know what that is. That one looks like it works. That's the fuel. Most of these don't work. Let's have a look at the bombardier position. Oops. There we go. It is pretty cool. It's quite well modeled in here at the moment. It's quite nice. I don't know how much of this is going to be made operational once the final product is complete. Man, they need to put this into DCS, I tell you. does have that sense of mass to it. So I think we're flying kind of north. Not climbing any hill. That's very steamy out there today. A lot of humidity, a lot of cloud. Oh, I didn't open the cow flaps. I don't know whether this has any functional importance whatsoever. Certainly they haven't modeled that as a graphical that has not yet been implemented. This is the Brisbane River. The speed is about just over 250 miles per hour. So that looks like a decent sized river. This must be Brisbane. There's Brisbane down there. So let's fly to the city. They've got standard MSFS traffic injection at the moment. With labels actually, so it's good, but also helpful. You can see aircraft, and I don't see any other aircrafts in the sky. There's the range over there. So we're following the Brisbane River now. So there is some stuttering, which you may or may not notice. Very stable, which is, I guess, what you want in a model. But it's a very, very stable aircraft. So what we're going to do is we'll do, hopefully, if the graphics holds up, detail of the city flying by. I still may do some further adjustments with this update 4 because even though the performance is incredibly better with the sim update 4, admittedly, with my system, which is not top end, but reasonably mid to high end. It will suffer a little bit, I guess, with the graphics settings set quite high. But the fact that I can even do it and still quite good is really very impressive. But it is probably going to get a little bit difficult for it to manage as we get closer to buildings and what have you in the city. So, applying West End now, Solution West End. As you can see, now the labels are popping up. I think these are the labels for the city cabs, vessels. Here it is, Brisbane. The left-hand pass. What we'll do is we'll fly by. Story Bridge. That's actually pretty smooth, relatively speaking. Of course, when I move my head quite a lot, it's there is a bit of jittering, but if I hold my head still, it's there's the old Queensland Museum, inner city bypass. stuttering. I presume that's it. I'm flying quite close to the ground here. But on these settings, there is no way I could have done anything like this. Why does my compass looks like my compass is saying I'm still flying north? Oh no, it's south. What? I don't think I'm flying south. I think I'm flying west. My compass needs to be set properly. Yeah, it's weird. Okay, there's the TV station. Clicked on. The reservoir. I think that's it there. Yeah, so that's just for Chapel Hill. Alright, so what we'll do is this flight video doesn't need to go for too long, so we'll now what we'll do is head over to this Brisbane, forgive me if I said this earlier, but yeah, it's the Orbix Brisbane pack, which I think was recently updated as well. It's very nice. It contains all the details. It's really well done. Highly recommend it if anyone flies to or around Brisbane with any regularity. It's very accurate. Really is just quite amazing. I mean, I flew over my house the other day, and it's going to be probably amazing. You can even see like detail. You can see the details on house roofs. You know, it's just incredible. To the point of individual solar panels. I mean, I guess it takes it of course from satellite data, so it's an accurate representation. Even still, considering being someone who grew up with flight simulators back in the day, considering the level of detail which is attained, even with performance tweaks and requirements to adjust things and correct things, it's honestly quite spectacular. Okay, so what we're going to do is we're going to try and land on 191. for speed. Okay. Speed. Turn around now. About 1,500 feet. Taking off this direction. Oh well. Let me just bring up the map. Ideal of approaches. Now I'm getting the resource usage exceeds GPU memory capacity thing. That's probably because I'm coming into Brisbane. Quite a lot of graphical assets. Yeah, I think there's a 7.3 at the end of the runway. That's fine. Touchdown. Alright. Let's vacate the runway as quick as possible. Jets. So it looks like it's pushing the memory usage quite high now because I had that little warning pop up. But it just popped up briefly. There we go. So that's a flight at the B17 by Microprose in Microsoft Flight Sim 2024. It's where the hell the jets go? It's very nice. There is going to be some quite a bit more development in this. future updates. And see, I think at a big airport like this, even with this sim update or optimization, I am going to encounter a little bit of strain in the system. Okay, coming into the, where are we? This is the international terminal. Park down here. Ah, yes, check out the train. The Brisbane City Update version 2 for Microsoft Flight Sim 2024 includes the train, which is a nice touch. Park around back. So I think, yeah, I might aim to bring some of the settings down, but so on a whole, I would say that the B17 is a lot of fun to fly. Sim Update 4 is looking like it's really making a big difference in terms of performance to Microsoft Flight Sim 2020. It's becoming the sim that it should have been on release. I mean, Sim 2024 really should have been Microsoft Flight Sim 2025, really. I mean, it came out too early. It was an imperfect product, and now, a year later, it's finally starting to, in terms of performance and usability and playability, it's really starting to take over from Microsoft Flight Sim 2020. For example, I haven't loaded up Microsoft Flight Sim 2020 for a while now. It's still not loaded on my system. All I have is 2024. And just looking forward to 2024 now. Yeah, just improving in its performance, playability, consistency, reliability. Waiting now as well, of course, for other third-party product creators, I guess, to have their aircraft ported across to 2024, like the PMDG 737, which is still yet to be ported across to 2024. They've done their 777, but they haven't done the 73, so waiting for that. Once that's done, then I'll be flying back in the 737 for PMDG in 2024, so really looking forward to that. But other than that, that's probably where I'm going to leave it for today. For those of you who watched it, I hope you enjoyed it. If you're thinking about getting the B17 from Microprose, I think they've got a discount while it's in early development, and then it goes full price once it gets to the full product release. So it's certainly viable now. It's fun now, and if you want to make a bit of a saving, but you're definitely going to get it, then I recommend just picking it up now, I'd say. Anyway, thank you very much for watching, and yeah, I'll catch you for hopefully another video at some point. Now that I've got everything working again, I might do another video before too long for Microsoft Flight Sim.